Most of us know the story: an asteroid, a colossal rock from space. It struck Earth about 66 million years ago. The mighty dinosaurs, rulers of the Earth for so long, vanished. This is the history we are taught. But science thrives on questions. What if that asteroid had been a little off course? What if it had missed our planet entirely? These small changes in the distant past could mean a vastly different present. A present where the story of the dinosaurs did not end so abruptly. Imagine for a moment such a world where dinosaurs did not die out, where these magnificent creatures continued to walk the Earth. Perhaps they would roam vast plains. Maybe they would live in dense jungles. They might even live alongside us, the late arriving humans. This is the incredible scenario we are going to explore. Let us begin this exploration. If the Great Extinction Event never happened, 66 million years would have passed differently. The world as we know it would be unrecognizable. Dinosaurs would not have been frozen in time, their legacy cut short. They would have continued their evolutionary journey, adapting to new challenges and environments. New species would have arisen, filling niches we can't even imagine. Old ones might have faded away naturally, making room for the new. Imagine herds of advanced triceratops, their frills even more elaborate, their social structures more complex. Perhaps descendants of Tyrannosaurus rex, maybe even smarter or faster, dominating the land. Towering, long-necked sauropods, their necks reaching ever higher, grazing on treetops. But alongside these, countless new forms would exist, each more fascinating than the last. Dinosaurs specialized for new niches, adapting to every corner of the planet. Dinosaurs unlike anything we have ever dug up from the ground, waiting to be discovered. What about mammals, our own ancestors? Their story would be vastly different. They lived in the shadow of dinosaurs for millions of years, always on the edge of survival. Without the dinosaurs' sudden removal, their path would be altered, their evolution stunted. They would likely remain smaller, more nocturnal perhaps, never reaching the diversity we see today. Their rise to dominance, as seen in our world, might never occur, leaving them in perpetual obscurity. The skies might still be filled with diverse pterosaurs, ruling the air with their majestic wingspans. The oceans would likely host giant marine reptiles, dominating the seas as apex predators. Earth's biodiversity would be incredibly rich, a tapestry of life more vibrant than we can imagine. In this alternate world, ecosystems would be fundamentally shaped by dinosaurs, creating a unique balance of nature that is both fascinating and complex. They would be the keystone species, pivotal in maintaining the structure of their ecological communities. Large herbivorous dinosaurs, the plant eaters, would be nature's great landscapers, constantly shaping the environment around them. Their grazing and browsing would maintain vast grasslands, preventing the overgrowth of vegetation. They would keep forests from becoming too dense, allowing sunlight to reach the forest floor and support a variety of plant life. Their movements would create paths and clearings, which would be used by other animals and plants. At the top of the food webs, giant carnivores would reign supreme, controlling the population of herbivores. These predators would exert constant pressure on their prey, driving evolutionary changes. This is a powerful engine of evolution, ensuring that only the fittest survive. Prey animals would need to be faster, smarter, or better defended to avoid becoming a meal. This predator-prey dynamic would ripple through the entire ecosystem, affecting all forms of life. Plants, too, would have co-evolved in response to dinosaurian appetites, developing unique adaptations. Many plants might develop tougher leaves to deter herbivores, or grow sharp spines and thorns for protection against being eaten. Some might even produce potent toxins to ward off hungry dinosaurs, all in an effort to avoid being eaten by a hungry hadrosaur or stegosaur, constantly adapting to survive. The climate itself might be different, influenced by the presence of these massive creatures. Large dinosaurs, especially the giant sauropods, were huge animals with significant environmental impact. With millions of these giants roaming the Earth, their collective methane output could be significant, potentially affecting the atmosphere. Perhaps a wetter world, with more lush vegetation, creating a vibrant and dynamic ecosystem. Now, let us consider humans. Our species, Homo sapiens, evolved relatively recently. In a world still dominated by dinosaurs, our emergence would have been challenging. Every foray for food, every search for shelter would be fraught with peril. Giant predators would be a constant threat. Even large herbivores could be dangerous if startled. Early humans would have needed incredible cunning and resilience to find food while avoiding becoming food, to protect their young from swift raptors or giant carnivores. Perhaps they would have sought refuge in caves or built dwellings high in trees or on cliff faces. Our intelligence would have been our greatest asset. The ability to solve problems, to communicate complex ideas, to cooperate in groups. We would have developed tools not just for hunting small game, but for defense against much larger, scarier creatures. Our minds, our best weapon. Section 5. Building for survival technology in a dino world. Imagine human civilization advancing in this dinosaur-filled world. As we move towards modern times, our ingenuity would face its greatest test, coexisting with creatures that could weigh many tons. Our cities would look dramatically different from today. They would likely be fortified, massive walls, perhaps miles high and incredibly thick, designed to keep out the largest and most determined dinosaurs. Transportation between settlements would be a major challenge. Ground travel would be risky. Roads might be elevated, high above the reach of most land-bound dinosaurs. Or perhaps armored vehicles like mobile bunkers would be common. Air travel would likely become very important much earlier in our history. It would be the safest way to cross long distances. Helicopters and airships might be everyday sights, avoiding the dangers on the ground. Building materials would need to be exceptionally strong. Skyscrapers designed to withstand an accidental bump from a brachiosaurus. Section 6. Daily life with giants. A new kind of normal. What would everyday life be like in such a world? Your morning commute might involve more than just traffic jams. Imagine hearing a siren raptor pack approaching Sector 4, or a news alert, sauropod herd causing delays on the orbital highway. Life would certainly be more eventful. There would be an undercurrent of excitement, and perhaps a little bit of fear. Always. Rural areas outside fortified cities would be the true wild. Farming as we know it would be incredibly difficult. Open fields would be an invitation for giant herbivores. Agriculture might take place within city walls, perhaps in massive vertical farms, or in heavily guarded agricultural zones surrounded by layers of defenses. Food production would be a high-stakes operation. Securing enough to eat would be a constant concern for many. Our relationship with animals would be complex, full of wonder, but also defined by caution. Section 7. Perils and prospects, the two sides of cohabitation. The dangers of sharing a planet with dinosaurs are quite clear. The most obvious is the risk of being attacked or eaten. Even herbivores could be dangerous due to their sheer size. Accidental trampling, property damage from a stray dinosaur would be a common insurance claim. Life would require constant vigilance, a heightened state of awareness. However, think of the incredible scientific opportunities. Imagine studying living, breathing dinosaurs. Not just their bones, we could learn about their biology in detail, their complex behaviors, their social structures, their intelligence. It would be a golden age for paleontology, zoology, and evolutionary biology. We could answer so many questions that fossils can only hint at. The secrets of their success, unlocked. Dinosaur tourism would be an extreme adventure. Section 8. Echoes in cultured dinosaurs in human society. Dinosaurs would undoubtedly cast a long shadow over human culture. They would be woven into our myths and legends, from the very earliest human societies. Some might be seen as powerful gods or spirits of nature, others as terrifying monsters, symbols of destruction or chaos. Every culture would have its dinosaur stories, its tales of encounters and survival. Their presence would be inescapable. Art, in all its forms, would be saturated with dinosaur imagery. Paintings and sculptures depicting epic hunts or peaceful scenes of humans and herbivores coexisting. Music inspired by the trumpeting calls of sauropods or the eerie chirps of nocturnal hunters. Dinosaurs would be a constant muse for human creativity, a source of endless inspiration. Our entertainment would be heavily dinosaur-centric. Imagine movies and video games with even more realistic dinosaurs. Section 9. A past unlived, reflecting on a dinosaur present. This journey into an alternate Earth is, of course, a thought experiment. It allows us to stretch our imagination and ponder the endless possibilities of what might have been. It is a fascinating way to consider how different our world could be. the landscapes, the ecosystems, everything would have evolved in unique ways. It highlights how one single event, like an asteroid impact, can fundamentally alter the course of life. Such events are pivotal moments in Earth's history. The absence of that impact would have set Earth on an entirely different evolutionary trajectory. Dinosaurs might still roam the Earth, dominating the landscapes. Our own existence would be part of that new path. We would have evolved alongside these magnificent creatures. Living alongside dinosaurs would undoubtedly be challenging. It would require us to rethink our strategies for survival. It would test human resilience, courage, and ingenuity to their limits. We would need to innovate constantly to thrive. We would need to be constantly adaptable, always learning. Our survival skills would be honed to perfection, always prepared for the unexpected. Every day would bring new challenges and opportunities. The struggle for survival and security would shape our societies. Cooperation and community would be essential. It would define our technologies. Necessity would drive innovation, leading to advanced tools and shelter designs. It would mold our very character as a species. Our identity would be forged in the crucible of constant challenge. We would be different humans, shaped by our environment and the creatures we share it with. Yet, perhaps this constant challenge could also bring benefits. It might lead to a more profound understanding of our place in the world. It might foster a deeper connection to the natural world, a bond that transcends mere survival, a profound respect for the power and majesty of life. In this alternate reality, we would find new ways to coexist and thrive.